The numbers present a stark reality. 13 million people have fled their homes, including 8.7 million who are now displaced internally across all 18 states. The death toll since the April 2023 start of the war between Sudan's armed forces and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces estimated in the hundreds of thousands, while sexual violence has been prolific.
Brutal mass killings and atrocities, abductions of women and girls, and mass rapes are recurring patterns. Since the start of the conflict, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has been able to document 838 victims of sexual violence, almost all women and girls. But these figures may only be the tip of the iceberg. Drones launched by both sides have repeatedly struck markets, schools, fuel stations, and water infrastructure. Civilians face the unrelenting consequences of one of the worst humanitarian crises of our time.
The fighting characterized by persistent violations of international humanitarian law, the heavy use of drones, localized ground combat, displacement, the spread of disease, food insecurity, and systemic sexual violence.
Horrific sexual violence is being reported in 16 out of 18 states. Rape and gang rape, sexual slavery, forced marriage, forced pregnancy, forced prostitution, sexual torture and trafficking, primarily but not exclusively perpetrated by the RSF. Sexual violence is not simply a weapon, but a deliberate strategy to terrorize civilians and control their movements. Where ethnically motivated, it is used to persecute, displace, and destroy communities. Many women and girls do not report sexual violence due to lack of adequate services, risks of reprisals, and social stigma. Abductions linked to sexual violence and forced reproductive labor have become key to the war economy. We must not neglect intimate partner violence and domestic violence, which conflict, displacement, and economic crisis only intensify.
As the Council and the broader international community's role in ending this conflict also came into sharp focus.
The ask is that we do not have another meeting where the Council simply describes the problem. Sudan does not suffer from a lack of analysis. It suffers from a lack of action. The people of Sudan need food, water, and medicine, yet the world sends drones, weapons, and mercenaries. The people of Sudan need sustained, courageous diplomacy, yet the world is too often indifferent and distracted. The people of Sudan need peace and dignity, yet others use Sudan's land and people as pieces in a regional struggle for power, gold, and pride. This Council is not powerless. The international community is not powerless. The tragedy of Sudan is not that we do not know what to do. It is that we have not yet found the will to do it.
The Council also heard that the United Nations continued to support the efforts of the Quad, comprising the United States, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates, towards a humanitarian truce. This while the principals of the African Union, IGAD, the League of Arab States, and the European Union are due to travel to Sudan in the coming weeks to explore synergies between domestic and international efforts towards advancing peace. But after more than 3 years of war, the conflict has become more complex. With growing political polarization, territorial fragmentation, and the continued external flow of arms into this war, finding common ground is likely to prove even more difficult to achieve. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.